Let's talk about the right approach for Plan B. This is the right approach from our side. If you are a UPSC aspirant, you should be following this. Year 1, UPSC should be your Plan A. There is no question about it. No question of any Plan B. 100% time should be spent on UPSC. And outcome should be UPSC syllabus mastery. This is on this slide, you will know why I talked about all of that stuff, why we are not against UPSC prep in general, and why we want all of you to understand the importance of Plan B. We have been UPSC aspirants. We know how important this examination is. But we also know how difficult it is to get out of it and get into meaningful careers. Hence this plan. Do not take year 1 to just get a look and feel of UPSC. No. The aim should be absolute syllabus mastery. Then in year 2 also plan A should be UPSC. Absolutely. Plan B, depending upon what your individual standing is, you have to decide whether you spend 100% of the time on UPSC or 80% on UPSC and 20% on Plan B. The idea is by year 2, you should be a master of UPSC. Start thinking about Plan B. Only thinking. For example, self-assessment, some sort of upskilling. Not more than 20% of the time. 80% would be still UPSC. But from year 3 onward, this metric flips. You are still into UPSC. No one is taking you from UPSC. That's not the objective. But kick off Plan B in a meaningful way. And in my subsequent slides, I will talk about how, what Plan B, etc., etc. So don't worry if it sounds abstract to all of you. Just be patient and wait. Kick off Plan B. There is absolutely no question about it. You will still prepare 80% for UPSC, 80% of the time. But 20% of the time definitely should be spent on getting your Plan B ready. UPSC is still Plan A. And other things are still Plan B in year 3. So don't worry, you still have time. But for sure, of course, it might vary from individual to individual depending upon your academic background, experience, this and that. But for sure, in year 3, you should have confidence that you can get into job market if UPSC doesn't work out in 6 months' time. 6 months is the time frame. And work on upskilling till you land with this confidence, till you have this confidence. What we are aiming in year 3 is you reach a state where you have confidence that if UPSC doesn't work out, within 6 months you can land with a role. And that will only happen when you spend 20% of your time every single day on an average. Of course, it's not every day you spend 20%. Some days it will be more, some days it will be less. But on an average, if you study for, let's say, 12 to 13 hours, maybe 14 hours, at least 1.5 to 2 hours per day, think and start getting your Plan B on the ground. The outcome in year 3 should be confidence, not the actual job. Confidence that you can get into job in 6 months. Then year 4 happens, still UPSC, you do not qualify UPSC. That's when your Plan B becomes Plan A. Now, UPSC is still not over. No one is suggesting you to not go for UPSC. That's not the objective. The objective only is in year 4, upskill, get a job, or proactively start looking for one consistently. And take UPSC as a Plan B. Now spend 80% of your time in upskilling and getting a job or searching for a job, and only 20% for UPSC, because the idea is in year 3, 3.5, you know enough that you can appear for another UPSC attempt if you spend on an average 20% of your time per day. The outcome should be you get a job. And job is not a coaching job or any other job which will allow you to continue your UPSC preparation. We are not asking here for you to row in 2 boats at the same time. The boat is still the one, right? In year 1, 2, and 3, you are on UPSC boat. Year 4 onwards, you are on a job boat. Capable to appear for UPSC examination because you are spending 20% of your time. So nowhere, if you aim to achieve a balance that you also work, prepare for UPSC, 50% time work, 50% time preparing for UPSC, that doesn't happen in practice. Up, rowing two boats and hence falling down in water. 3 years you can choose to prepare for UPSC, that's not a problem. Of course, it will vary from individual to individual. So year 2 and year 3, you should start thinking about transition, putting something in place. Year 4 onwards, if UPSC doesn't work out, get a job. Spend only 20% of the time preparing for UPSC. Any job in this world will allow you this much. I've worked for 12 years, I know that. Whatever the job is, even the most rigorous of the jobs, for example, consulting will allow you to spend at least 20% of the time preparing for UPSC. And that is more than enough if you have already spent 3 years rigorously preparing for it. And go for another attempt. Year 5 onwards, same story. This will allow you to meaningfully, nicely come out of UPSC cycle just in case it doesn't work out, without harming permanently your career prospects. And focus on the outcomes here, guys. The outcomes are pretty simple. Year 1 and 2 is focused on you mastering UPSC syllabus. In year 3, the only confidence you need to have is 6 months and you will have a job. This confidence will come into play in year 4 if you manage to not qualify UPSC to land with a job. So this is the framework. I tried and achieved it. Jigyasu has tried and achieved it. So it is tried and tested. Plus, our 2 years of experience, we have talked to thousands of people. This has worked for many. So it is personally tried and tested, as well as personally advised and seen. As I said at the start, I'm an expert in evidence-based policy making. So it is an evidence-based suggestion. Now you might say you are already sitting in year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, right? Many of you are, which is fine. Still focus on these outcomes. That's okay if you are sitting in year 4, 5, 6, or 7. You have to start from here. Upskilling, then getting confidence that you will land jobs in 6 months, and then consistently working towards that, which I will talk about in my subsequent slides. If there are any questions on this slide, put it out on the Google Doc, or we will open the Q&A and then you can ask. But this is a very, very strong suggestion from our side. It's okay if you are sitting in year 4, 5, 6, or 7. The outcomes still remain the same for you also. The only thing is if you have exhausted UPSC attempts, then this timeline of 6 months is not actually 6 months, it is short, maybe 3 months. But again, all said and done, everything is possible. It's not like that you can, never land with the roles. That's not the case. Never, ever.